for now.
All right, guys. The NCAA finished. A federal judge declares that the NIL cannot be regulated by the NCAA. So, if you've been following this story down in Tennessee, in the state of Tennessee, basically Tennessee and Virginia got together and filed a lawsuit against the NCAA, basically saying, "Hey, you guys said that we aren't using NIL properly, but everybody's doing it this way, and we're going to take you to court and we're going to fight it." Whenever the NCAA goes to court, it's not good for them.
Lose.
They lose every single time. Do you know, guys, would you like to take a stab at why the NCAA loses every single time they get taken to court?
Because they're wrong. Well, I'll tell you,
Yes.
I mean, in this case, in this case, they aren't Major League Baseball. They don't have an antitrust exemption in place. What they're trying to do by or controlling NIL is basically restricting, trade, restricting the players, options to make financial gain, just so they can be competitive. You know what? I believe the judge said it was a direct violation of the Sherman Act, if I'm not mistaken, which is, of course, an antitrust law. Um, and for those who don't know, I mean, antitrust is basically the when when a group of teams comes together, Major League Baseball, NFL, whoever, and makes an attempt to control the narrative as far as salaries, to control the narrative as far as um, what teams can go to what cities. Um,
Yeah, let me put it to you this way. This is a
that
great
basically
example that all
controls.
of you can
Yeah,
understand here real fast. If my boss were to come to me and say, "Hey, listen, this is your salary, what you make, aka your scholarship. And when you go home, you're not allowed to make any money off of your YouTube channel." My boss has no right to say that to me. What I do on my time outside of the workplace is my business. And if I can make money off of my own talents and my own face, if you will, my own likeness, why anybody would give us a red cent dime, I have no idea when you look
It's
at
a
my
good
face.
likeness, Eric. It's a good likeness.
Well, when you came aboard,
you
our
should put it on a
likeness score went
T-shirt.
up a little bit, Jr. So we
oh,
appreciate that.
oh, jeez.
But if he were to do that, I could take him to court, and the court would rule in my favor because he has no right to do that. That's essentially what the NCAA is doing. Now, I am like most of you. I miss the good old days of college football. But the amateur model from the very beginning
Gone.
was not constitutional. And for
No.
years, the NCAA rode that illegally. And finally, through little battles here and there in the courts, it is finally coming out now to where the NCAA is losing their control. I don't listen. Like I said, I miss the good old days, but I don't miss the NCAA. The NCAA is just as corrupt almost as Ann Arbor, the athletic department up there. I mean, think of all the millions of dollars they have made off of free labor. Now, the argument is it wasn't free because it was their scholarship, but that's what the school gave. The NCAA never gave one stinking scholarship. And they've made millions of dollars. And then the NCAA has come in and said, you can do this, and you can do that, and you can't do that. There's been no consistency from the NCAA when it comes to rules and regulations. None. Some of the rules they have are absolutely asinine. Stupid. So they've made their own bed and now they're lying in it. Is what is going on. So Tennessee and Virginia takes them to court and says, "Look, you all say we can't use NIL for recruiting, but look at what Ohio State's done. Look at what Florida State did. Look what Miami did. Look what our neighbors did to the South and Georgia. And you're coming at us?" And the judge
Yeah.
looked at it and said, "Well, first off, you can't come at them because it's unconstitutional. It's illegal." Done. The NCAA cannot win. So what does this mean? This means the NIL is officially wide open. Before it
Yep.
was kind of like, hey, you can use NIL, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
Now it's
but
the Wild West, Eric.
you can't do it out loud. Now you can do it out loud. So you best believe that Ohio State's collectives, the 1870 Foundation and the Foundation, 1870 Society and the Foundation, are about to get very public with what they're doing. Because here's the thing. Very few colleges can compete with what Ohio State has in the NIL department. If
Yes.
Ohio State's smart, if Ryan Day's smart, if the guys who are running these collectives are smart, they are about to get very public with what they are doing. And recruiting is going to get even better at Ohio State. JR, your thoughts?
I mean, I have two thoughts. One, this is really, really good for the athletes that they can be paid and they don't have to go through all these hoops. And I mean, guys, I was an NCCAA player at a Christian college when I was in college. Okay,
NCAA or
and
NAIA?
in CCAA. I mean, that's how low it got.
NCCAA. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is National Christian College athletic, as low as it could possibly get, guys. I
Were your
mean,
teammates
nobody.
homeschooled? That's all I want to know. Were they homeschooled?
Half of them were, yes. Half of
Yes!
them were. All right. So like, this is just like the complete insanity of it. So I played on that team to help out the coach. I didn't hardly play at all. I stunk at soccer. Okay, I haven't played soccer since middle school. Okay, but I played on the team to help out the coach because he needed numbers and he wanted kind of like a pseudo assistant coach person. Okay, well outside of that, I also worked a job at a movie theater. And the hoops that I had to jump through just to work at a movie theater, they wanted to make sure there wasn't money going under the table to this college athlete who could make tens of thousands of dollars. My God, the movie theater paid me chicken scratch. Okay, I mean there was not all that much being made there, but I wanted to create a future for myself and be able to eat every now and then, so that's what I did. All right, but the paperwork that I had to go to my boss with almost every single week, like at a certain point, and he didn't actually mean this, but he was joking with me. He was like, sometimes I question if it's even worth it to have you work here because of
Jeez.
all the paperwork he would have to do. And he would have to get calls from the NCAA, all these different things. And it's like, guys, I don't even play. I'm just trying to work a job, so minimum wage job, so I can make some money. It's absolutely crazy. So all these things that the players have to go through, it's good for them that they don't have to jump through these hoops anymore. Now here's the bad side. The bad side is that there are going to be a whole lot of step uncles and a whole lot of dirty agents going to make a whole lot of money off these players
Yep.
for little to no reason because these players don't come from not all of them. Some of these players don't come from backgrounds where they have wise counsel, where they have people that they know that can help them handle their money. And so it's not just about like, oh, these guys are going to go out and buy Lamborghinis and waste all their money. No, step uncle could come in and take all of the money because he could get his name listed on there. Guys, we had an offensive lineman down at Texas A&M who wasn't able to transfer because they put in his NIL deal. He didn't know about it. They put in his NIL deal that he couldn't leave, and he wanted to leave, and they said, no, 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 it's in your NIL deal right here. You can't leave. And that's the kind of stuff that's going to happen because these NIL groups are dirty just like everybody else because there is money to be made. Now, thankfully, Ohio State has a very good compliance department. And thankfully, I believe Ohio State is looking after their athletes. So I don't think those kind of things are going on at Ohio State. However, it could happen other places. And that is what really stinks for the college athletes. The NCAA years ago should have put in an agent system where you had to have approved agents to work with these NIL firms, and there could have been some kind of way where the agents only made a certain number of money, because now we're going to have agents who are demanding 50% of what these kids make, and these kids are going to be making trying to make money for themselves, when in reality most of this money goes in the agents' pockets.
Jay Thompson asks, that free popcorn you took home was impermissible benefits, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Jr. is just bitter because his NIL deal, didn't even qualify for a 1099. He didn't even get $600 a year.
Yeah.
Jay
That's what it
also
was.
says the NIL is now full on legal bagman territory. Yes,
Yes.
it
It
is.
is.
Absolutely.
It is, and it's sad because this. I understand. I'm glad the players are getting something out of this. I really
Right.
am. But at the same time, I'm old school, and I still think that there was value in an education. Um, I'm very sickened by where this has gone. And again, we have only the NCAA to blame for this because this could have all been controlled and regulated to some extent had just some safeguards been, like you guys are talking, had some safeguards been put in to protect both the players and the universities from this getting out of hand. I'm not saying um, control the fact that they're doing it because, as we found out, that's just unconstitutional. But there are safeguards that could have been placed, guidelines that could have been put in place to at least curtail some of what has and is going to go on because like Jay said there, it is full on bagman. It is the wild wild west, and the best players are going to go to the highest bidders, and competitive advantage to the schools that are going to be the Ohio States of the world, the the schools that can afford to spend the money are going to be top five schools every year
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to get the best athletes because they've got the money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, and that separation gap between good, average, and or elite, good, and average is just going to get wider and wider.
Yeah. Eric Osbeck, the NCAA is upset because they had a monopoly on the cash grab, video games, TV, etc. Now they see all of it crumbling. Yes.
Yeah,
However, NCAA football is coming back this summer, and I'm super
yes, it
stoked.
is.
The fans win in that one. The players get their name, image, and likeness in the game. They get a free copy of the game, and they get $600.
And I
Huh,
actually
that's not
saw
bad.
I saw a listing the other day of projected rankings for Ohio State players. I think, and actually, do you know? I believe Caleb Downs may have been our highest ranked at 97.
Imagine that.